it really hard. Let's see if you can get a lot.
My family consists of 2 twin boys who are almost 4, Max and Theo. I have a village of women taking care of them and myself, I guess. I have a live-in nanny, I have a live-out nanny, and I have my ex-partner, and I have my sister who lives sort of in a back unit of our house. Did I ever think that I would be a single mom? I would say, okay, honestly, no. And I'll start with that because my mother was a single mother. So, I mean, she divorced and then she was a single mother, and you know, she's still a single lady. She hasn't remarried. So there was a part of me that thought, I don't want that. But somewhere in my mid-30s, like you know, it dawned on me that if I don't do something about having kids, and it wasn't working on the timeline of my romantic relations, I could end up being a single mom, yes. I wanted children, for sure. I froze my eggs when I was 35, and about 3 years later at 38, not finding myself with a partner, I had started a nonprofit. I was working about 108 hours a week. I was like, this isn't, you know, the partnership may not happen when I don't even have time to date. So I decided to freeze embryos at that time. Then a little later on, found myself in a relationship with another woman, and we were along about 4 months. And I had a fertility doctor, and she said to me, well, you might be freezing your embryos, but listen, if the embryo quality isn't that great, let's consider perhaps we'll just transfer your embryos, and maybe you're gonna have to get pregnant at that time. My wonderful fertility doctor, we did an ultrasound. I think it was probably like 20 days or something like that after she told me I was pregnant. And she was doing the ultrasound, and I could see 2 little floating things, and she goes, you're gonna have identical kids. And I was like, are you kidding me?
You guys remember how we did spaghetti yesterday and Mommy uses 2 forks? This is how you can do this, Oops. They're really good. You don't want to try mushrooms?
When I was first presented with the kids, it was like, wow, it was like, hello, you know, right away. And it was a lactation nurse coming in and trying to figure out how to, I remember double breastfeeding in the hospital while somebody was feeding me chicken soup. And I was like, this is insane.
Did I have 2 or did you have 2? You had 3.
You have to have a village. You really do. And then we all have to work like an ecosystem. We have to talk to each other, communicate, pass the baton. Did the kids have a bath? What did they eat? Okay, I'm taking over now. You know, did they get a nap? So I know whether they're gonna be alert or if they're gonna be sleepy at the end of the night. Like, you have to communicate. It's a lot. I think Disneyland's gonna be like crazy. Yeah, no. It's gonna be really crazy, so I don't know, but I want to do something a little festive, you know? Megan and I, having been in a very short relationship before I got pregnant, I think by the time I got pregnant, we'd only known each other for 6 months. So it was a very shotgun, fast thing that happened for us. And I think the stress of it was just too hard for us. It really, really was. I think Megan had 2 choices, either leave and start her own life again outside of all of us, or stick it out with the kids. And she has truly stuck it out. So we weathered it by focusing on the kids, and that we both wanted the best for them. I think my kids have adjusted really well. I mean, one of the things that people say when they notice and talk to my kids or interact or see my kids is they see how happy they are. And I think a lot of that comes with stability and consistency that's built because we don't have a whole lot of conflict in creating this ecosystem.
Okay, so get one first. Put it in, turn it.
Yay! That's your favorite color.
Mommy.
Okay, are you next?
My kids, Max and Theo, are really different. They're identical, but they're really different. And I think some of that is sort of inherent. Like, I think one of the wonders of watching kids grow up is like how would they have actually had an affinity for this, that it wasn't socialized? Basically, you know, like Theo is really into basketball and he has an affinity for trucks and comic books, and Max is really different. He's really into his ABCs, like he's very academic. He likes to draw. He likes the color pink and Dora, and he's just really different. When I was choosing my donor, the criteria I used was I really wanted to imagine myself at a bar and meet somebody who I would really hit it off with, which to me is sort of somebody who is scintillatingly brilliant. You know, somebody I could just really, has a lot of self-awareness, has a lot of consciousness, and is well-rounded. I really like that. Somebody might bring some surprising elements to this virtual bar conversation, right? So when I looked up my donor, I noticed he was president of a fraternity. I never belonged to the Greek system, but I thought, oh, that's interesting. And he's an Asian man who's a president of a fraternity. And then between an open donor and an anonymous donor, it was important for me that my kids could maybe someday, at their age of 18, decide whether they wanted to meet who that donor is, just so they get a more groundedness of knowing why they are who they are. How my sexual orientation or my bicultural bisexuality came into play was that I actually was considering having a male baby daddy, really, prior to my own journey of fertility. Like, I was thinking perhaps maybe I could form a co-parenting family with a gay man. And it was important for me to have, for whatever child, and if that child was a boy or a girl, some sort of male role model in their life. I think they do need some modeling of men. And now I'm sort of desperate to find some guys to function as uncles, you know, to come into my village, really. We have this ecosystem, and, you know, Megan, my ex-partner, like, she's dating other people as well, and the idea of bringing in new people into the ecosystem is one that we have to be very careful of. It does take discussion. Does this person fit? Are my kids going to take to this person? Is that person going to be comfortable with the way we function as an ecosystem? Megan and I still take trips together with the kids. Like, we go to Disneyland together. We went to Puerto Vallarta together one time. So, like, are these partners of ours going to be okay with that? And I think that's something to be considered as well. My favorite thing to do with them, because I'm a full-time working mom, is come and just hang out with them and sometimes crawl into their beds. They have these little twin beds that are shaped like race cars. And so in the morning, I like to cuddle with each one of them. And then the other one will say, "Mommy, Mommy, come over here." So I have to go to the other bed, and it's sort of back and forth. I'm so blessed, you know? It's been hard, really hard. It's been really hard to go through a separation and having so many, basically trying to build a house of cards with different caretakers and twins and working full time and being a single mom. For sure, like, it you know, it's hard, but the reward is unbelievable, you know? Lucking out and having two little boys that both want my attention, I can't tell you, like, what that feels like. I would love to see that anywhere in this country that we value diversity and diversity in our families, including LGBT families, and that there's not going to be eyebrows raised if you've got two men as your parents or two women as your parents, or, you know, two parents who are the same sex who are divorced and co-parenting. You know, like, that's not going to be an issue anywhere. I think in the end, people will realize, so long as the children are loved and they have consistency and stability, that's what really counts, not really the makeup of who are the parents. Okay, I'm not gonna swing you guys high. Okay?
Just low.
Just low.